I've been collecting watches for about 3 years and had a watch channel for basically the entire time. And one of the things that I've been told, maybe more than anything else, is that I need to check out Vostock. I've seen tons of reviews on them. I know a lot about them because lots of other watch guys, a lot of my good friends in the watch community review them. They love them. They tell me I need to get one. And I've held out for 3 years, but today I'm finally going to check out my first Vostock in person. Yeah, I've never even seen a Vostock in person before. And not just one, but I actually picked up 3 of them that I'm gonna unbox today. I got them directly from Vostock's factory site. So thanks to Pete over at Chillin' with Watches. He did a video talking about how you can buy watches direct from them, and that was the avenue that I went for it. 2 of them are very famous Vostock watches. One of them is one you guys have probably maybe not seen before. And I'm really excited to check these out because again, I've kind of held off for a long time. You know, I love the history behind them, the idea of a cheaply built Russian watch that can take a beating and is built like a tank. But the acrylic crystals, the wobbly crowns, the kind of cheaper materials that are used in some of them, I was always a little bit hesitant to pick one up, which is probably why it took me so long. So I'm kind of curious what I'm going to think of these watches after I'm done unboxing them. To all of my fellow Vostock fans out there, make sure you head over to the Just the Watch t-shirt store and get your very own Scuba Dude t-shirt. Okay, so today we have not 1, not 2, but 3 watches to unbox, all from Vostock, and this is an unboxing that I'm pretty excited about. Pretty much everybody has been telling me that I need to check out Vostock, and they're amazing and all of that. So I wanted to see what they're all about, so I got 3 different watches from 3 of their more popular lines. I'm not sure which one's in which. Let's start with this one and take a look. Okay, so this has got kind of like a plastic box. Feels pretty cheap. Okay, so this one I think is from their Vostock Classics line, if I remember correctly. Can't remember the price of these off the top of my head, but I will be putting them, you know, kind of maybe over here somewhere. I believe all of them were in the $30 to $60, $70 range, somewhere around there. So really inexpensive watches, all mechanical. And wow, this one is gorgeous. So this is one that I was kind of excited about to see. Not what you think of when you think of Vostock usually. You know, usually everyone thinks of the Amphibias, their, you know, rugged tool watch. This is much more of like a dress watch. It is a hand-wound, very thin dress watch. Just really amazing vintage looks. Let's get this plastic off the cover. So this one, like I think all of these, has a acrylic crystal. So kind of a plastic crystal. Let's get a little bit closer for you guys to check out. And really beautiful dial. I was kind of afraid that for a watch this cheap, because I think this one was like right around $30 or so. I thought that the dial would look really plasticky or something, but just gorgeous looking watch actually. A really unique lug design, 2 o'clock crown, gorgeous syringe hands, cream dial, and I believe the whole dial is the same color except for the outer ring where you've got those 24-hour markers. There it's got kind of some concentric circles, you know, thin lines that sort of make it look darker. It's not like that fume dial or fume dial where it, you know, where there's a gradation where it's lighter in the middle and darker on the outside. That's just kind of a visual effect of the lines there, it looks like. Small second hand, kind of classic Arabics. And check out how thin that is. Like, I have been looking for a hand-wound dress watch that is thin for a long time, but nobody seems to be wanting to make those, at least not in the affordable price range. So when I saw this one, I was really curious. Let's get the dimensions out of the way. So we'll start with that thickness. Yeah, right at 10 millimeters. So that is right in your dress watch sweet spot. Totally going to have no problem fitting this under a cuff. You know, and yeah, I don't have many watches that are down at 10 millimeters, much less a mechanical watch. Now this one is hand wound. It's not automatic, so that helps with the thinness. Another thing I was curious about was the lugs. If I remember correctly, yeah, 18 millimeter lugs. So would have been nice to see 20 just because I have a lot more straps. I don't have that many 18 millimeter straps. Diameter, 38 millimeters diameter. So yeah, it's like everybody, like this is like exactly what people say a dress watch is supposed to be as far as dimensions goes, with the thickness and the diameter and everything. Lug to lug is right at 45 millimeter. So classic dress watch proportions, it's really rare to see, especially in a watch this cheap. Russian mechanical movement inside of it. Really cool watch. The strap actually isn't bad either. You know, it's a faux crocodile leather strap, but it's about as good as I've seen on, you know, a lot of the Orients that I've gotten. It's not bad. You know, it's not like one of those super plasticky ones that I'd be embarrassed to wear. I could wear it on this strap. In fact, let's put it on. So there you can see it on my 7.5-inch wrist. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, proportionally looks pretty good. Really good watch here, I think, for this price. Really cool lugs. So you can see the lugs are kind of attached there. Interesting shape, haven't seen that. They are drilled lugs. And then 2 o'clock crown. So no screw down. You can instantly access the winding position from there. This is no date movement either, so you don't have to worry about a ghost date. Just set the time. Great proportions on the hands. The minute hand goes all the way out to the outer track. Hour hands hitting the hours. Just a really beautiful small second hand implementation at 9 o'clock. I really like this. And I mean, for the price, it's amazing. So let's see the case back. Sticker. Some kind of a Russian motif. Now, another interesting thing about this, I believe they said that the case is an alloy case. So that's, you know, it's very cheap materials and things. It's a plexiglass or acrylic crystal. So they definitely saved on that. But it looks and feels like a watch that's much more expensive than $30. Again, at the price, I thought it was going to look really cheap. But yeah, all polished finishing. Case back's kind of rough looking. No markings on the back. Anyways, yeah, I'll be looking forward to doing a kind of a more full review of this one in a follow-up. Let's move on to the next one. Pretty impressive so far. Okay, so here is your classic Amphibia Scuda Dude. Same kind of plasticky case. Let's get the packaging off of it. Okay, so this one I think was from their Amphibia Classics line. It was one of the slightly more expensive ones. Again, price up here. Initial impressions. So finishing is rough. There's definitely some sharp edges on here. The bracelet is actually better than I thought it was going to be. A lot of people complain about the Vostok bracelets based on reviews I've seen. This has a lot of flex to it, but it is a solid link bracelet. It looks pretty nice. You know, better than I expected. I will probably be swapping this over to a rubber strap, though. Yeah, interesting clasp choice. Butterfly clasp, no micro adjust. So, yeah, not the best bracelet or clasp, I think, for a dive watch. But, yeah, again, better than I thought it was going to be. And very solid feeling watch. You know, again, I've heard interesting things about them. Everybody says they're built like a tank, but then they also say it's got, you know, very highly scratch-prone acrylic crystal, weird wobbly crown, which we'll get that in a second, but let's get the dimensions out of the way on this one. This one's coming in at 42 millimeter across, kind of a cushion case, 22 millimeter lugs, pretty chunky at about 15 millimeters tall, but lug to lug is pretty compact at 45. So yeah, a cushion case like this is probably gonna wear pretty well, but yeah, look, there's a lot of flex on that bracelet there. Doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. You know, one of the things that Vostok seems to be known for is their case backs and their designs on the watch face. This one's got an orca on it, which is kind of cool. Looks like it's just kind of lightly laser engraved on there. Can't read Russian, so I don't know what it says. And then I've got the classic Scuba Dude design on this sort of, I don't know, kind of a greenish blue oceany color dial. Kind of nice. You know, the bezel insert, I'm going to guess that this is a acrylic insert over kind of a black finish. It is friction based. It just spins freely, not very tight, so not the greatest for actual dive activities. And again, as I'm doing that, I can feel my fingers scraping against the inner lugs are very sharp there. So that's, yeah, a little bit uncomfortable. Let's check that crown that everybody talks about. So sort of gritty feeling on the screwing in. And yeah, it is loose. It's kind of wobbles around, which is normal with these. It's supposed to be a part of the design to protect the movement from impact. So to engage it, I think you got to pull it out a little bit. Yeah, so that's in winding there. Kind of pull it out. I'm in the winding. And it's, yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to. You have to kind of play around with it. It's not too bad though, but definitely different from any other watch I've done. Was it bidirectional movement? I don't know which way you're supposed to wind. It looks like it sounds like either way you can hear the movement engaging. Okay, and then second position. Let's see, pull it out. So we're in time setting there. Another interesting thing, there is no date position. So it doesn't have a quick set date position, but the way it's supposed to work, you advance it past midnight, instant snap over, and then you go backwards and you can see the date. When you go back far enough, it kind of starts to move a little bit. Did I miss it? Oh, there it goes. So you see it. Now if we go back past 12 again, we can do that. So it's, you know, it's the 14th today. So I already passed it. I'm not going to go through all this. It is a little bit of a pain to set the date. You kind of got to just keep doing this. It'll be interesting to see what kind of accuracy I get on these. They say that these are easy to regulate. But yeah, overall feels very solid. Looks nicer than I expected. You know, nice applied markers. Kind of cool reflections on there. Yeah, very interesting. I'll be curious to see how this one wears. Try it out on some other straps. Get back with a full review. See how it's doing, accuracy and all that. I'm not even sure if I'm going to size up this bracelet or just skip that part. Loom. There's little loom pips around the outer edge. Little tiny dots. I'll save the full loom shot and breakdown for when I do the full review. There's a lot of, you know, go over to Shane's channel, Relative Time. He puts a Vostock in a lot of his loom comparisons, so you can see the loom there if you really want to see it right away, if you don't want to wait for mine, but leave a link to one of those as well. Okay, last one. Okay, I don't read Russian, but I think this says Komandirskie, since the last one, I did order a Komandirskie. So this is, you know, Vostok's two most popular lines are the Komandirskie and the Amphibia, at least based on reviews that I've read and watched. So I wanted to try both of those. This is one of their least expensive watches. Again, I think this one was like $30 or maybe even less. A little bit of string hanging off of this. Yeah, again, it has a timing bezel, but there's no markings on it, so you couldn't really use it, I don't think, for timing. But it's there. It's just a friction-based one. Interesting case finish. So again, I think this is not stainless steel. I think it's like brass or some kind of alloy or base metal, but it doesn't look like it's been chromed or plated. It just looks like kind of a, yeah, a darker colored rough metal with almost like a bead blasted finish to it. Sort of an interesting one. This one's sort of dark blue with a compass design on it. Loom pips around. Date. Let's see. It does have a screw down crown, but I think the water resistance rating is very low on this. Like, I'll have to check again, but I thought it was something crazy, like under 30 meters. So same thing with the date setting. You can go back and forth for it. So same loose crown, wobbly crown there. Got that. Yeah, plexiglass crystal again. The strap on this one feels more plasticky, rubbery. I think it's supposed to be some kind of leather, but I don't know whether it is or not. Let's get the dimensions of this one. So going across, 41 millimeters across. This one also has 18 millimeter lugs, so kind of a bummer there. Would have been nice to see 20. Thickness, though, it's pretty thin, about 11.5 millimeters thick, so really slim watch. 44 millimeters lug to lug. Now, I think on the Komandirskie, this one is mechanical, a hand wound movement. It's not a, yeah, there's no rotor. This is not an automatic movement. So same date set as the Amphibia, but different movement because the Amphibia has an automatic movement and this one does not. So this one you're going to have to wind. Yeah, I'll check the power reserve. So these two are both hand wound movements. You're going to have to hand wind both of these. This one is supposed to be kind of like a field watch. And actually my plan is to give this one to my son. I thought he might get a kick out of it. But I'm going to review it and test it first and then let him beat it up and we'll see how tough these Russian watches really are, if they can survive my 9-year-old son. So there you go. 3 really interesting watches from Russia. Russian movement, Russian made. I'm pretty impressed so far, especially at the price. Incredibly unique history with these, really cool character. Definitely their own style. I mean, these are not homages. They're not trying to be other more expensive ones. You can kind of feel the heritage and the history built into these, and I think part of that is the cost. You know, these are inexpensive watches that are rugged. You know, they claim to have a 10-year service life on the movements, and the movements are really loud. I don't know if it's just this one. This one is really loud. Let me let you guys hear that. Can you guys hear that? Some pretty loud ticking. You can definitely notice it in the quiet room. Komandirskie, maybe not as loud. A little bit more substantial case to dampen it. Enough playing around with that. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around through the unboxing. Yeah, I really enjoyed taking a look at those. I'm maybe turning into a Vostok fan. We'll see. I'm going to check it out. I want to spend some time with these before I come back with a full review. The dress watch really surprised me. The Amphibia and the Komandirskie, they're about what I expected first impressions, but they do have a certain charm to them. And while the finishing was very rough, the build quality did feel very substantial. So yeah, I'm going to play around with these for a while, come back with a full review in a little bit. Again, if you're interested in getting a t-shirt like this, head over to the t-shirt shop. I've got a lot of cool designs. I'm always trying to add new ones. Link to the t-shirt store down below. But that will wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.